Jim Seamus.
And Andrew Matheson with this week's edition, the final edition of Double Coverage for the 2012 season.
I'm a little sad.
It's a little sad.
Yeah.
We have sad news to report as well. We had one game on the slate, the Central Coast Section Division III Championship. The number 5 Aptos Mariners taking on Valley Christian, and those private schools. They
Damn them. Damn those private schools.
At Christian school.
Yeah.
It was Valley Christian took it to them, 51-20 victory for VC, their first CCS title since 2005.
It was a big weekend across the board. Just before we jump into that coverage of that game,
Sure.
Open division, the big granddaddy of them all, Bellarmine, the West Catholic League champion, lost. Wow. Not excited? No? St. Ignatius beat them 13-10 in overtime.
WCal versus WCal.
Yeah, St. Ignatius' third title, but the first in the open division for them.
Of course, St. Ignatius beat Aptos last year in the D3 playoffs in that first round.
That's right.
And route to winning that title. So
Exactly. Poor Aptos, they've lost to the last 3 seasons to the eventual champion.
Yeah. I mean, but they're in the playoffs. They're having a chance. I don't know if I would say poor Aptos.
I know, 3 straight seasons, third-year coach Randy Blankenship.
A lot of teams would like to be in their position, though, of course. So down on Division 1, San Benito, the Hay Bailers, avenging Milpitas in a game from CCS title game from 2009. They are victorious 35-28 over the Trojans.
Yes, I was pulling for the Trojans there.
Were you?
Yeah.
I used to cover Hollister, so I guess I was pulling for the Hay Bailers.
I was a big fan of the big boy that came out, the man-child.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Woo!
We don't know his name, but he's about 6'3",
He was
280.
He took up 3 numbers on the roster. Wow.
And down in D2, St. Francis, another private school, shutting out Los Gatos just over the hill, 17-0. That's their first title since 2002 for the Lancers. So,
all right.
Yeah.
15th title overall, pretty amazing, huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Private schools. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
private schools. There's just too many weapons, and the same thing we can segue to Valley Christian.
Exactly.
On their.
Let's go with some one out of private school. The division.
Excuse me.
You're such a prognosticator, and you called this game. You said it was going to be great. This D4 championship. It was.
Yeah.
Sacred Heart Prep rallied to beat Menlo 13-7.
I heard there was very little passing from Jack.
Oh man!
Unfortunately,
6-20 for 68 yards.
The rainy conditions probably got to him a little bit.
It was coming down sideways in Terranova.
Yeah.
So.
But just back to those weapons that we were talking about with those private schools. They have so much talent usually.
Yeah.
And in this Valley Christian game, Valley Christian lost 8 starters during the course of the season to season-ending injuries. And they were all kind of grouped up.
Yeah.
They're grouped up on the sideline in the corner of the end zone. But
I'm laughing with them.
Still, the Warriors put up 51 points.
Yeah.
They scored more than 50 points in each of their games during the postseason.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
There's too much. And too much for Aptos to handle.
You know what? Aptos really did a good job with trying to contain Ryan Severson, and he did have a couple scores, but they limited his rushing yards.
No, yeah.
They kept an eye on him.
He was vying for 2,000 yards in the season, and they held him to 25 yards in the day. He did score a touchdown receiving. He did score a touchdown rushing, so he did make his impact.
Yeah, but yardage totals, they bottled him up pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just that, they had so many other guys. Who surprised you most for Valley Christian? Not to toot too many of their horns or whatever.
I mean, probably the running back, Kirk Johnson.
Okay, he was one.
Sophomore. Sophomore, super athletic. He touched the ball 7 times. 7 times. He had 2 touchdowns and 180 yards rushing on 7 carries.
That was a pretty good shoulder shimmy he used on his second long touchdown run.
Yeah, he had a 69-yard touchdown run and a 74-yard touchdown run, and he's got 2 more years. Another kid that's got another year is the quarterback, Jay McIntyre, son of the San Jose State head coach, Mike McIntyre. And they don't usually pass much, but he kind of showcased his arm in the first half. He was 6 of 6 for 113 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He took my power number.
Yeah.
I was all set to give him my MVP of the game.
Yeah.
Okay,
he did it both sides. He did both sides.
Bam! Double coverage, twin! You want a fist pump? Swim move? We do everything the same. We have the same haircut. We talk the same. But the same players jumped out at us.
Yeah,
he had an interception and a fumble return.
Yeah, and a fumble return for about 46 yards for a touchdown. So, again, just too many weapons. After they got ahead 20-0. They led 34-13 at halftime. Aptos was, after they fell behind, and they had fell behind Monterey 27 last week, so I talked to some of the guys, they were so confident that they'd come back in this game.
Yeah.
They were just looking for that spark, that kick in the pants, that little punch, basically.
Yeah.
They got it when Antonio Andret had a blocked PAT to keep it 20-0.
Yeah.
Aptos goes down, scores, but again, Valley Christian's offense, their first 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, too much to stop.
You mentioned, waiting for that kick in the pants. They got kicked in the head, kicked in the ribs. They just got kicked. It was a tough game. I mean, seriously, on the punt attempt, the bad snap, and then Valley Christian has to move just 4 yards to score.
Yeah.
Aptos is going for another touchdown drive, and they throw an interception in the end zone. I mean, they gave away 28 points.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It seemed like once Aptos got going, they would take a step forward, but then VC would take 2 steps forward.
Totally.
And like I said, they scored that touchdown to get on the board, but then Aptos scored again, and then they had that bad snap on the punt. Aptos did, and Valley Christian got a quick 4-yard score.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in that third quarter. I forget what it was, but Aptos scored, and then VC responds with a field goal, and they get the fumble return for 46 yards for a touchdown. So
it's just
it just seemed like they couldn't. They were making ground, but they couldn't continue to make that ground.
A couple of drives where they looked invincible against Valley Christian. They moved the ball well. The thing is, I don't mind about private schools beating public schools. I do take issue with it sometimes. I have, I like all the private schools in their own division.
I mean, they're in their own league, so we can't. Yeah,
I know. But that said, Aptos did beat themselves. I just wanted to see Aptos give 100% and play that perfect game and see how it matched up.
Yeah.
Because that's what Valley Christian did. They played a near perfect game.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason why I picked Aptos to win this game was because I saw their previous 2 games.
Yeah, they don't turn the ball over. They
did fantastic. They beat Saratoga, they beat Monterey, and it was just good, solid victories.
Yeah.
And they didn't have it today, basically, and it's unfortunately came in the CCS title game. But
congrats to them.
Congrats to VC, congrats to Aptos for getting this far and making a name. I know they're going to be coming back reloaded and hungry next year.
This is
and that's the thing. It's like. And I wrote this about my column. I feel like last year I saw them lose to St. Ignatius as well.
Yeah.
And it was tears. It was pain at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I'm like, really? They're taking this hard.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing today.
Yeah.
They just love each other basically. And I think I'm starting to understand that a little bit. I'm still amazed how deep that chemistry and that bond goes.
This is our finale, so I want to thank producer Tony Solis, because a lot of times when our shows end, I have Kleenex down under this table here, and I'm usually bawling because we have to go drink or do whatever, go home to our families, and it's just sad. So I understand what they're going through. We do not drink soda, but I understand what those players are going through. But yeah, it is an annual tradition, a rite of passage. And it's a special time of year of their lives.
Yeah. No, and I feel like just Aptos, they just enjoy being around with each other.
Yeah.
And I talked with Aaron McInerney, the senior running back, after the game, and he says, the finality of it all is what hits you most, basically. And he was expecting this coming in because he knew this was the last game. This was the CCS title game. Yeah. But even then, I mean, like last year they lost in the first round, which was surprising to them, so that really hit them hard. But even then, they knew coming in this was going to be the last game, and it still hit them hard.
Stop,
because
dude, you're going to make me cry.
Stop. Because the bond goes so deep, man.
All right, I'm going to end this on a positive note. We love them. Thank you. Thank you to all the players, the coaches. We had a great season.
All the fans that watched. Yeah. We got a lot of feedback. From those Aptos fans too.
It's not about us. The Aptos kids deserve one final shout out. In addition to winning their second straight league title, they did it unbeaten. We've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
That's what they were focusing on after the loss. They know what they earned.
Yeah.
2 straight league titles, 3 straight CCS appearances, but a lot of people were very happy about that win over Soquel, the team that was favored, the #1 team in our county to start the year.
Yep.
There's a lot to have, to be prideful of.
There's plenty to hang your hat on. And you kind of talked about, he has a column coming out that in Sunday's paper, you should pick that up, but and you kind of mentioned it, that how much they lost last year. Mm-hmm. They lost Riggs Powell, they lost Philip Rojas, they lost a lot of pieces, a lot of seniors, a lot of key pieces. And that line, that incredible offensive line that they had, they pretty much lost everybody from that line, I believe. And they reload, they go undefeated in league play, and they go 2 games further than last year's team. So they're going to lose a lot next year, but I mean, who knows? They'll probably. I think they'll reload just as strong as maybe they did this year, and do it again.
You know what I say to that? I say haka haka and shaka shaka.
Shaka.
And go Mariners. Right? I mean, that's what coach would say, right?
Yeah.
All right, Randy. Good job with your team this year, and congrats to everyone who did well and broke records this year.
Yeah, well, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, you.
Sure. Yeah, that does it for this week's edition, this final edition of Double Coverage. We appreciate everybody that watched this season. This was something that we just decided to do, and we'll probably continue it next year, I'm sure. And probably, I don't know. This is the only sport we're going to do it for, right?
Yeah, don't lock us into something. We're going to talk about winter sports. Anyway, by the way, our all-county football package will be out December 15th, so check out the Santa Cruz Sentinel, and keep us following us on our blogs and Twitter and all that good stuff.
Check us out.
So, one final spin for you. Yeah, SantaCruzSentinel.com/football.
And we'll see you next season. We'll see you during the offseason. We might do some offseason.
We're rambling, dude. Just get to crying, get to spinning and crying. Bye.
Oh yeah, this guy.
There.
Hey,
Tony Solis.
this is what he looks like.
Oh, God, that thing's spinning.